never mentioned.
Is that a key?
Wonder what lock that key belongs to.
No lock. It is broken.
Not broken. It's just split in half. Perhaps we could find its partner.
weird. What did those runes say?
Secret. She loved another. A king named Helgi. Seems they were madly in love. But her parents wouldn't let them marry.
Oh, come, Mimir. You really didn't think you were her
Ooh,
first
A
love,
souvenir
did you?
from foreign lands?
Suppose I did.
Heading off already?
How would Atreus get to Asgard?
I'm sorry, but you'd have to ask Odin. He's got good talk.
Only your wolves can help us find the Norns. The wolves have picked up another trail. Keep following their heads.
Freya, you were just beginning to tell us the story of Hrimthur, the stonemason's son, and the wager Odin involved you in.
Yes. All right. A mysterious mason had to build the entire wall in 3 turns of the season.
2! It was 2!
And if he was late, he'd be owed nothing. But if he succeeded, he was promised an audience with the queen.
Hold. The wolves are distracted.
Another coal raider camp. Kratos, we should do something about them.
Above you! Fire! Left side, brother! More raiders! You're on fire, Kratos! It will pass!
Enemy behind you, Kratos!
Incoming fire! That is all of them. Why do they whine?
Poor things. They can smell more danger.
The wolves fear that which can no longer hurt them.
The horrors of our past can be inextricable from the present. You have to understand that.
Is that a frost troll? You won't be happy to see us. Right side, brother! Freya, can we return to your story of Thor? You said if he built Asgard's wall in time, he was promised an audience with you.
Yes. Or so I learned one day when Odin burst into our bedchambers, raging and half drunk before noon, telling me to get dressed and go see what the Mason wants. So, off I went, not knowing what had truly been promised or expected. Dagger stashed in my robe for emergency.
Set that aside for now. Come.
Freya, where is Seacon now?
Impossible to say. She's on a mission spanning the realms in search of our lost sisters. Our hope is if she can bring their incorporeal spirits to Vanaheim, we can find a way to restore them to uncorrupted forms. I don't know how you expect to find the Norns without letting the wolves lead us there. Mimir, I never asked how it felt to lose your head.
What would you have me say? That it tickled?
Merely curious.
If you wish to derive some satisfaction from my pain, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Kratos swung swift and true, didn't you, brother? I felt nary a scratch.
Shame. Kratos, I see something. An abandoned camp.
Whoever was here left long ago.
What did you find?
A list of provisions needed to prepare a meal.
A recipe? Who left that way out here?
Let's take a look at the ingredients. Perhaps the recipe will lead us to them. Looks like initials. Do they match the ones in that?
I imagine we might find one of those ingredients around here. Ah, I knew I recognized those initials. The Ballad of Yari and Somar.
I'm not familiar.
An old tale, but a good one nonetheless. The carving marks their passage through this realm. We could always try and find the others if you're curious. have been ashamed to have left that behind.
I'll heat up the forge. Anything for Freya? What do you need?
Let's find your wolves. Get back to tracking the Norns.
Getting back to your story, Freya. You were forced to grant an audience after the building of Asgard's wall, yeah?
That's right. And this Mason, this giant in disguise,
His name was Hrimthur.
he just smiled to see me. And as you said, he whispered in my ear.
What is that?
Raggy the Zealous. Getting back to your story, Freya. You granted an audience to Hrimthur after he finished building Asgard's wall. What at long last did he whisper to you?
Well,
No more for now. Focus.
look. Another Coal Raider camp. We should do something about them and put your wolves at ease. Watch your left!
Behind you! Look out!
Now maybe the wolves will cease their whining. Accursed wolves.
I grow tired of your lack of empathy for your own wolves.
It's Demos, isn't it, brother?
I should not have told you, Demos.
You see yourself in these wolves, in their fear.
Let us keep moving.
Looks to be a sculptor from the southern lands. Getting back to your story, Freya. You granted an audience to Hrimthur after he finished building Asgard's wall. What at long last did he whisper to you?
Well, he said the Aesir had killed his father, and he needed to know that one day they'd burn for it. I pointed out I was Aesir now too, technically. He gave me a look, as if he somehow knew better and continued. He said he'd built in a structural flaw behind the Asgard Realm Tower.
I knew it! How do we make use of it?
We don't. He said Surtur would know what to do. And if Surtur's approaching Asgard's wall...
Then it is already Ragnarok.
Aye. Blast it. I hoped it might have given us another way.
Freya, something your brother said. The Aesir burned him.
Yes. We weren't yet at war, but relations with the Vanir and Aesir had been hostile for ages.
Enough talk for now. Be ready. Freya, how did your brother come to be burned by the Aesir?
Well,
Another time. We must focus.
Do you regret it, Lemire?
Most likely. What are we talking about in particular?
Giving up your body?
I regret exchanging my life for my freedom? That's a question I ask myself every day, my lady.
What about today?
Today? Glad to be out in the world. How else could I spend such quality time with you?
Okay. How strange. I've never seen that building before.
Aye, very strange indeed. Let's take a closer look. What's your left? Left side.
Switching! Wait. The shield that's blocking the entrance. It looks exactly like the one from Tyr's statue.
It's another piece of Tyr's likeness sent flying across the lake. Ended up lodged right into this building, apparently. All this must have been hidden behind the ice until that shield smashed through it.
Freya, how did your brother come to be burned by the Aesir?
Well, Freyr got it into his head that he could improve relations by sharing our magic with them. Vanir techniques for bountiful harvests, enough to feed their whole population. Getting set on fire was the thanks he got.
That's true. The Aesir were too undisciplined and impatient for the subtlety of Vanir spellcraft. So when things went wrong, they blamed it.
So Freya was a guest when Odin burned him?
Not exactly. Odin didn't mind locking Freyr up. He saw the potential of the magic and wanted to know more than how to improve crop yields. It was a mob of lesser Aesir, bitter and short-sighted, who tied him up and lit him aflame as punishment for the sabotage they imagined him guilty of. Obviously, he survived. In fact, he used the opportunity to escape. But such an affront made war inevitable.
Not now.
You know, I would have beaten you.
What?
Earlier. If Atreus hadn't been there.
Perhaps.
We could go again. Find out for certain.
I would rather not.
I'll bet you wouldn't. It isn't that I mind walking a bit, but if we use your sled, your wolves could follow the scent of the Norns and take us to them. Isn't that why we're out here?
Either of you. What more is there to tell of Freya being burned by the Aesir mob?
Well, Freyr certainly wasn't the same after that. At least for a while. His carefree ways were replaced with nightmares, paranoia, and lashing out. It doesn't excuse what he said at my wedding, but I do understand where his anger came from.
I must say, I think we make a good team. With my brains, Kratos' brawn, and my lady's,
Wisdom, magic, ability to tolerate you for long periods of time.
I was going to say brutality.
That works.
Brother, I'm sure your sense of smell is nothing to be underestimated. But if you still want to find the Norns, we'd best let the wolves guide us there. What a beautiful dagger.
Impractical.
Ceremonial. Freya, you once revived a giant's corpse to stop a certain fight we won't talk about. Could you call on that power again?
Maybe. Do you have a massive giant's corpse for me to revive?
No?
Well, there you go.
Oh, lady, I was curious about some of the flora we've encountered on our travels.
And you will remain curious. It's not my job to teach you everything, Mimir.
Look, I was just asking.
And you have been told.
Oh, you can say that again. Bloody Draugr hole! We've got to clear out all these undead bastards! You're on fire, Kratos! It will pass! This is a fine mess. Bloody Draugr holes! We've got to clear out all these undead bastards! Lads, I thought death had cured me of my appetite, but damn if I can't stop thinking about the smell of Tyr stew. Awakened a fair few culinary cravings, it did. Black pudding, haggis and neeps, oh!
Porridge and honey.
What about you, brother? Any pre-Fimble winter foods you're aching for?
Olives.
Say one thing for Tyr.
The hell's an
He's
olive?
got taste. Where'd you find this? Midgard? Want something in particular?
This is the place. We need to work our way up. This way. There. Can you cut a way through the ice?
Oh, are the Norns making magical ice walls now?
No. I think the water just froze.
More of your friends.
I didn't tell them to be here. Changing arrows! Alka! don't know what the Norns did to trick all these raiders into guarding them. Not that they have any idea that's what they're doing.
Freya, thank you for your help. I know this was not your focus.
The sooner we find your son, the sooner you'll be able to focus. I just hope it works.
Just the same, thank you.
A fine sentiment, but write her a bloody note when we're out of the cold, brother.
Okay, I feel something. It's stronger this time. Over here. Open up. We found it.
Ah, isn't it always the third place you look? Is everyone hearing that creepy whisper?
It is like an itch in the mind.
It means we've stepped into their domain. Be ready for anything.
Illusions.
Projections, possibly. But assume nothing. There's no telling what manner of creature they've made unwitting guards.
Delightful.
Kratos, Ghost of Sparta, Bane of Olympus, Destroyer of Fate, Cruel Striker, Bringer of War, Weapon of the Gods, turned against his critics. He chases a redemption he knows he can never deserve. He cannot change.
PlayStation